Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different just because I usually do an annual top 10 list for best dramas. But this year, as you know, I watched a lot of things and they were kind of on the same level. A lot of them were, so I was like, are we gonna have a 2 or 3-way tie the whole way through? So instead, we're just gonna call it your ultimate C-drama watch guide for 2024. So these are the dramas I would recommend. So let's get into it. I'm not gonna recommend like meh dramas, obviously. These are all the ones that I truly enjoyed a lot. So let's start with honorable mentions because we do have some. First is Joy of Life 2. Now, while I loved every single second of what I watched, which is like 10, 11 episodes, I have to save this one for later because season 3 is going to come out and by then I won't remember anything. So I'm going to have to rewatch anyways. So I saved myself trouble. But I would say if you loved season 1 and if you haven't checked it out, then girl, what are you doing? Get on that. It's iconic for a reason. Even if you're not a politics girl, it's really funny. It's very enjoyable and addictive. It's just so good. So watch it. Anyways, for season 2, I would say if you liked season 1, this one is like that, except much more intense in terms of like the stakes are higher. There's so many new players and male lead is really bold. He is just confronting people left and right. And it's so fun. Like there's a lot of petty moments too. It's really the small wins as well, just to like one up this prince or that prince. Obviously the world is expanding and it feels so real. There's such a high budget on this and they do take their time to make, film, and write this. But that's why every time it comes out, I'm like, the quality just, it hits different. There's so much twists and turns. The best part is obviously unlikely allies, alliances, and how like so much can change within like a conversation. Always so well done and written. Okay, next one is Amidst a Snowstorm of Love. While there are slower parts and I skimmed, I'm not gonna lie, I would still recommend this, especially if you just need a cozy winter romance sports drama. I really loved the abroad aspects of this and how they met. It was so sweet. And male lead is green flags all the way. He was so in love with her the whole time. And what I like in my romances now, when I'm like a long-term watcher compared to like a newbie watcher, is the romance isn't too artificial. It's not too like produced. And I felt like, yeah, we got all the like sweet moments, all the tropes, but it was done in a way that felt natural to them. And I enjoyed that. So chemistry on point, Wu Lei and Zhao Jinmai. Definitely love them both as actors. And honestly, just anything winter setting romance vibes is just going to hit a little bit different. At least for me, it just feels extra heartwarming. Now to my whole long list of mainly costume dramas. Most of these I've already raved about in my full drama reviews, so do check those out if you're interested. I'll leave the playlist down in the links below and at the end of the video. But let's start with Legend of Shenli, which was my saving grace the start of 2024. I thought it was a very slow first half of the year, but this one really stood out to me. It obviously stars Zhao Liying and Kenny Lin Gangshin. They're both from Princess Agent, a very iconic drama that really impacted the popularity of this whole genre. Obviously, there were costume dramas before, but that was one of those first like enemies to lovers, like assassin, spy type of characters. And I think it really had a big impact in C-drama land. But then lots of drama happened, plagiarism claims, a bunch of stuff. And we can't get a season 2. So we got this instead, and it's many years in the making, so yay. They were great. I forgot how good they were together, and their chemistry was so natural. I loved the naturesque scenes, and I love the fantasy aspects as well. Obviously, amazing CGI, but what truly got me into this story was just the chemistry between the two leads, and it's really funny because the little pranks on each other, I love that dynamic so much. Side characters and like execution of the long like evil versus good stuff was well done, and there were some unique takes along the way, which I enjoyed. Then we got two of the blossoms, obviously. We got Blossom and Blossoms in Adversity. Let's start with Blossom. This one recently wrapped up at the end of the year, and everybody was saying, what a nice gift, and I agree. Stars Mang Ju-yi and Liu Yun-rui. He is great. I've always had my eye on him in other dramas. Did you know this is their second drama together? But in the other one, he only played a side character. She did too, and they weren't together. The other drama that they were together was in Parallel World, which I really enjoyed as well, and I already noticed him from there and other dramas in the future. But he has so much charisma, and I'm so glad he's getting the popularity that he deserves. If you want a intriguing, smart couple, definitely go for this one. They're also very healthy, and I love it. It was the only drama that was giving the double, which is definitely on this list as well, a run for its money. It's like similar vibes with the rebirth trope, but it was just really healthy and sweet. Also, like married couple dynamics is my favorite thing now. So yeah, we get to see them get married, not at the very last episode, which is great because we really get to enjoy that dynamic for a long time. Then the next one is Blossoms in Adversity. It stars Hu Yitian and Zhang Jingyi. So Hu Yitian is an actor that previously I didn't think suits these costume drama roles. I never like really connected to any of them except for this one. So I hope this opens up doors for him. Female lead is also, I think this is her first drama in a costume female lead role, and she kills it. She's so good. And I was hesitant at first, but she nails it, and the whole cast did as well. Essentially, it's about a girl from this wealthy family where something happens. All of the men in the house is sent to a labor camp, leaving the women to fend for themselves. Everything is seized, all their wealth. So they really have to start from ground up, and it's just their journey. So you're not going to get the romance right at the beginning, but it does come in later, and it's very sweet and honest, which we love. If you're looking for an interesting business drama, then this is the one for you. Next recommendation is Fangs of Fortune. A lot of people say it's slower, and I guess it is because it's case by case, and sometimes the reveals are slower, but because there's a bigger cast, you get to know them well and really sink into those emotions. And oh my gosh, I was just obsessed with everybody's story. All of the cases were executed so well. They all had a theme of like love, hatred, and like star-crossed lovers, and all of them were done very well. So many familiar faces in this drama, and also some new ones. I loved that Tian Jia-rui became like very popular after this. He's so good. I remember him from Journey to You, with like him being the brother of the second male lead, but in that drama he didn't have a lot of lines. This one he really is the main character. I think the main leads, Chen Duling, did okay. She's improving, she's getting there. I liked the drama, I liked her character, but I feel like the standout stars were obviously Ho Minghao and Tian Jia-rui. I've also never seen like a drama that puts friendship in the center of it as much as this one, and it was done so well. There's also like lots of themes about grief, humanity, male lead being like the so-called most evil character, and just his range of emotions, insane. It's visually so gorgeous as well, that dark aesthetic. Love or hate the director, Go Jingming, he is just so good at this like dark aesthetic. Then we have Dashing Youth, another one where I would say adventure, friendship is at the forefront, but this one is much more upbeat and light. As much as I can say, like, go into it and then you can watch Blood of Youth, because technically it's a prequel to that one, but either or, definitely check it out. I do think the Blood of Youth is a better season, superior in every way except for maybe budget, but both are enjoyable, and I'm happy to report that there's going to be another spin-off in this universe, which is with the Dark River people in this. So they're kind of like mysterious, just fun side characters that you see here and there, but we're gonna get a whole series on them, and it stars Gongjun and Pang Xiaoran, so that's cool. This year was definitely a Homing House year, just seeing him in such an upbeat, like carefree, fun character, and then go in like Fangs of Fortune and be completely different, vulnerable, very complex emotions. Like, I was just wowed by him. Okay, so similar to Dashing Youth with like a more upbeat adventure recommendation, I have Love Game and Eastern Fantasy. I feel like this one is just super popular and everybody already watched it, but in case you haven't, I really enjoyed this one. It just has that classic trope that is transmigrational, and she transmigrates into a game. That one's always fun, right? You always want to know, like, how is she gonna beat this? How is she gonna get out of it? And obviously the romance development is so sweet. It's like slow burn, but really cute. And a lot of people on the internet said they wanted more romance between them. And I agree. I think that we were robbed because clearly there was a lot of like cutout scenes. This one truly could have had 40 episodes and I wouldn't mind. I usually prefer like them shortening down a couple episodes just to trim that extra fat if you don't need it. But this one needed it. I think it's fine. It works. Clearly, a lot of people love it. It's adorable. I love the adventure aspects. I don't think there's like anything groundbreaking about it, but you know, sometimes you just need a drama that's just fun and it has all the tropes that you already like. So it just feels so cozy, nostalgic, and just a comforting watch. And that was that for me. It's just enjoyable. I've only seen people who don't watch this because of Esther Yu's voice, but I got over it. I think she's a wonderful actress and she has such good dramas. So it doesn't bother me. Then how can this list be complete without probably the most iconic drama that started the craze for C-dramas this year, which is The Double. This stars Wu Jinyan and Wang Xingyue. Yeah, there's like a 12-year age gap between them. He's literally 22, and I keep on forgetting this because of how good of an actor he is, and he's hitting the gym, okay, for all of these roles. And he's collecting all of the dramas, so good on him after this drama. I already liked him from Scent of Time, Cunning Palace, and like his second male lead roles. So I'm happy that he finally has a drama that he can dominate. And his presence in this as Duke-soo is just perfect. Female lead, come on, like Woo Jin-yan is always good, but both of them together, the dynamic is chef's kiss. The writing, the betrayal, it's super dramatic, and I love that. Like, give me the drama, give me the revenge. And yeah, it's a rebirth story, so very interesting as well. With rebirth stories, I think we're really going to see a surge this upcoming year after this did well and so did Blossom. Then I have Are You the One? Honestly, I ate up every single second of this drama and left no crumbs because the acting is so good. The chemistry is great, but it's that slow burn aspect that I love from Legend of Shenli, the peaceful like dynamic between them because they're like a married couple, and in this one she is an assassin and she's his only clue, but she has amnesia, so he's like, yeah, you're my wife. And she actually is the sweetest person and so kind. She really takes care of him and he starts falling for her. And she's really clever as well. He's clever, so we love that dynamic. and they're so honest with each other. It's really beautiful how they cherish the little moments between war. She thinks that he's just like a happy-go-lucky Go player that, or like a scholar that is kind of pathetic, because she thinks, oh, my poor husband. And it's so funny because he's actually this badass who everybody is terrified of. And she's all like, wow, he's such a loser. My husband's such a loser, but he's so sweet. And that's all that matters. And it's really funny seeing her perspective of things and his perspective. They do not align at all sometimes. And it makes for really good comedy, even though not much is really happening. We're just seeing the ins and outs of them every day. But it was really romantic, and I think it's one of my favorite couples in Cdrama land of all time. And while I think all the dramas I talked about has been like talked about before, or you've seen come up a lot in conversation with C-dramas, I think the next two aren't as popular, but I definitely really enjoyed. So first one being Riverside Code at Qingming Festival. This one I'm still currently watching, but I really like it. It stars 3, I guess, veteran actors, very well known in their generation. So they're more mature. They're like in their 30s, 40s. And obviously they have so much experience. So they are just chef's kiss together on screen. And it really brings attention in the first few episodes. So the story is about a married couple. They're not wealthy, just commoners. And they've been married for 15 years. But after this incident where she takes out a governor who's trying to harass her, we got an elite squad of like investigators coming, and they're kind of just living in this town, and they're trying to hunt down this mystery. But there's a bunch of other things that happens, different cases that come up. And there is a connection to the wife who has a mysterious past. And the husband is like, what is going on? But he does his best, and he just tries to divert the attention from her. But because of this, it kind of is the snowball effect that makes them end up in stickier situations. And it's so good. They're somehow involved in a bunch of cases, and it's so different because we're seeing not only a older couple dynamic, we're also seeing a drama about just the common folk. They really have nobody on their side except for themselves, and that's very scary and intense. So I'm like, what a refreshing angle, because usually we have some birth secret, or female lead or male lead has like, you know, somebody up in the royal palace helping them out, pulling strings. Like, no, they are about to be on the chopping block. And every little thing is bigger and more intense than it seems. So I thought they did a great job with picking this perspective. It's really refreshing. Highly recommend it. By the way, pretty much all of these titles you can find on YouTube, Netflix, or iQIYI. Those are my main sources. My second last pick is Will Love in Spring. I adore this drama starring Li Xian and Zhou Yutong. Their chemistry was off the charts, and I truly think Li Xian excels in modern romances to costume dramas. This one was such a mature take, and him being so devoted. He started off really cold, and female lead started off a little bit annoying, but you see how everything is so well written into her character, and it really exceeded my expectations. I thought it's just going to be like a fun romance. He's cold, then he warms up to her, and they live happily ever after. But there's a lot of questions about whether if this man is worth giving up everything she worked for. She's a city girl, like the home situation is okay, but small town, you're not going to be wealthy. Male lead refuses to go to the big city. He is born and bred in his small town, and he is also a funeral director. He also does like makeup for the dead. So there's lots of themes about life and death, and just things I didn't expect from this drama. And I'm glad that they took it there because it really made me think and enjoy this drama even more and made these characters deeper. None of them are really perfect. Female lead is messy and even toxic at times, but it's because she's very vulnerable and she has a big decision to make. Like, understandable. She also is a disability rep, which is great, especially for like one I've never seen done in C-dramas. And she has an artificial leg. You would think that it's not that much of an inconvenience compared to other things, and sure, but like I can't explain it. Like, you gotta watch it. But they dealt with that subject and how it really shapes into her being this loud, outspoken, like even annoying person, because she is just trying to overcompensate for like people, you know, commenting about her leg or whatever. And it's really sad because you see that in the flashbacks as well. So I was like, wow, very well written characters, super thought out. Even their flaws is coming from like a place of raw vulnerability. And it's just so well written, very realistic. And yeah, I just enjoy that it's not a drama that chose the easy way out. Like, everything has a reason for it if you think about it. And we're not writing a third act breakup just because they had to write one. I forgot to add in, but I'm currently watching Love of Nirvana and I absolutely love it. It's so good. I watched a couple, like first 3 or 4 episodes, but then I got distracted when it was airing. So I never really came back until now. And it's because Moonlight Mystique is making me crave a dark romance level type of toxic enemies to lovers, and that is giving. If you want true enemies to lovers, I've never seen one done as crazy as this. Like, they cause each other physical harm to torture. Like, the whole time I was questioning everything. I was like, that's how you know it's not morally gray, it's morally black, and I love it. I don't even know how this passed censorship. Honestly, the way they be stabbing each other. Love at first stab. That's all I'm gonna say about this one. But the politics is so intriguing. Truly, I was thinking it's just an okay drama because I've seen so many, and I'm like, okay, after the enemies to lovers, I guess there's nothing else for this drama to impress me with. But they really flip certain tropes on their heads. There's lots of twists in between. There's also like very interesting cases that are emotionally charged, and they're all related to the main characters in some type of way and propel the relationship in a certain way. So I appreciate that so much. That is good writing, because there can be like these mystery cases where it's episodic and I'm like, okay, but I only cared about like 2 of the cases, you know. But this one, I felt like majority of them were purposeful. The 2 male leads, yes, there's a love triangle, but it's not annoying at all because she kind of never led the other person on, if that makes sense. She's nice, but like not in that dumb, annoying way. And I did question her though. I was like, girl, why are you putting yourself in these situations? Like, are we brave, or like, are we just not afraid to die? Like, what's going on? Because the consequences were wild in this one, which had me glued to the screen. Lee Landy was good in this, but obviously Ren Jialun and Xu Zhengxi were the standout performances. So good, so intense, and it's 100% satisfying if you're like, how the hell are these 2 gonna fall in love so deeply? But as you go into it, I'm like just shocked by how far they've come every single time, and I adore them together. They're just so sweet, so cute, and surprisingly healthy despite starting things off like, let's say rocky is an understatement. You've seen like Tan Tai Jin, you've seen other characters threatening them, you know, yada yada, causing a little bit of harm. But this one is like, no, I'm contemplating to kill her every second of the day. Like, it's bad. And I loved every second, okay? Every single second. I will be yapping about this in full review mode after I finish it. I literally just did nothing. I got sick and locked myself up for a weekend and just watched this. And last but not least, for my recommendations of 2024 is The Spiral Realm. I think this drama is not talked about a lot because of the censorship and how weird the situation was, but I'm thankful. So if they're gonna do it again, please do it. It's basically BL is censored in China, and also this one has things like horror elements, which is usually a no-no. We've been getting a little bit more here and there, but the production is rushed, so I would say go into it with some grace. It's 70 episodes, which sounds wild, but it's technically only like 18 minutes an episode. So basically like 30-ish episode of a normal drama. The first arc, I would say, is very heavily edited and like was kind of weird for me. There's some drawbacks with editing, but I really got into the story. It's a death game concept. Male lead ends up through this door and it leads him to this realm, a game basically, of virtual reality, except obviously with death games, if you get injured, if you die in there, you're dead in real life. He meets the other male lead, who is this mysterious character who seems seasoned. He kind of helps him through it and they form a friendship. He gets recruited on the same team as them and they go in each door. There's different prizes. You can bring out different artifacts, and some people go in there for money, some go in there to find the truth, or whatever the reason is. They team up and it goes from there. And I am a huge horror fan, so I enjoyed all of the aspects. It's not going to be crazy or anything. I'm just saying creatively it's there. It's really interesting. It's refreshing. Main leads are Huang Junjie and Xia Ziguang. Of both, Xia Ziguang is the stronger performance, but I know this was filmed a couple years back, so Huang Junjie has improved greatly since then, and Xia Ziguang has been soaring in popularity after this, so I hope to see him in his own like male lead role soon. But right now he's still doing well in second male lead roles for bigger name dramas. If you love mystery dramas and you want one with a fantasy element, super quick paced, creative, and has great friendship, 100% you gotta watch this one. The backstories of the side characters, even the NPCs, like for a drama that's heavily edited, they did such a good job in the writing department. I wish we can get like a couple of drops like these, honestly. Oh yeah, what happened, back to that, is randomly, no promotion, nothing. They just dropped the whole 72 episodes and took it down like 2 or 3 hours later. But of course the internet is obsessed because they don't have BL content. So the second anything Chinese BL comes out or censored BL, they were on it. And then Vicky picked it up for official subs, so that's great. But when I watched it, it was just terrible fan subs. And we were all terrified that it was going to get deleted off the internet. So yeah, I probably need to do a rewatch. But yeah, it's around 30 minutes. I really enjoy talking about these dramas, clearly. But if you stayed all the way till the end, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. And if you want the full length, me just talking about any of these specific dramas, then check out my Asian drama review playlist. For this year, I'm going to make a separate one. It's getting long and confusing. So yeah, 2025 looks like a great year for dramas. I'm already kind of exhausted catching up to all these dramas. Let me know in the comments your ranking, your top like 5 dramas of the year. And I'll see you guys in the next one.